It's Andrew from Taupo Diesel Solutions here, and I own a business in Taupo. We're the Kenworth, DAF, Isuzu and Cummins dealer for our region. And in our region we carry multiple parts, and we've been a franchise holder with Kenworth for 15 and a half years now, Cummins properly for the last 2 years, and happy to support their product as well as all our other products. I started TDS in 2006 off a whim. Rang my wife driving home from work one day and said, oh well, it's time we just work for ourselves instead of everyone else. So that's what we did, and we were lucky we had a customer at the time that supported us and gave us a building to work out of until we secured our franchise with Southpack at the end of 2006. From there on we moved into our own building, which we stayed in that building till 2022, which then we moved into our current brand new facility that's custom built for us in 2022. We cover the central North Island from Tokoroa all the way south to Taiapi, halfway to Napier, halfway to Rotorua, all the way to Tamaranui, down through the King Country. Our guys can hop in a ute and disappear for 2 to 3 hours at a time just to get to a job, and 2 to 3 hours at a time to get back. In each of our service vehicles, which we have 9 of them, we carry $18,000 worth of stock in each one. So we can usually get to a job, get you fixed and get you going. So last year in March, we had a near fatality, and we were the biggest guilt of just do everything, fix everything, get everything done, get it all going. But this near cost one of my apprentices their lives. So this is just a little bit of a background on what happened so we can prevent it happening ever again. So my apprentice attended a job on a stock truck that was fully laden, just with a $12 brass fitting that was leaking on the 5th axle. He attended the job, parked the ute on the grass, jumped straight under the trailer, and that was the first breakdown. He hadn't contacted the driver hadn't seen him, no one knew he was even there. He jumped underneath, saw what fittings he required, jumped back out, grabbed the right fittings, jumped underneath. In the meantime, the driver had returned to the truck, started the truck, and therefore moved forward, dragging him 12 metres before he realised the service vehicle was parked on the grass on the left-hand side that he could see. From then, I was contacted to attend site because the driver believed he was just a bit stuck under the trailer. There was no reason for too much panic. I arrived on site. From there, we managed to tag the axle off him. As I pulled him out, I found his hip had completely disintegrated. Therefore, an ambulance was called. He was put in a helicopter and flown to Hamilton. From there out, he spent 5 months in hospital with pins holding his pelvis together, skin grafts on his legs, and died 3 times. From there though, the hardest part starts. You deal with not just his family, you deal with your staff, then you have trouble with staff retention because it affects them all in different ways. Then you deal with your own personal life, which you have to deal with that as well. And sometimes the end of a bottle is not where you need to go. So the one thing we learned out of all this is we employed a health and safety contractor 2.5 years ago, which we had policies in place that just weren't followed. So from those policies in place, we managed to avoid a fine from WorkSafe. The police were understanding and could see that we had done due diligence as much as we possibly could as employers. But in the meantime, we have a kid that's been part of your family for 3 years in hospital still. The bonus for us now is he has returned to work in not full capacity, but he is back at work, back doing roadside repair, what he loves the most. The biggest problem we've had is staff retention, because people start hearing about how you work, and that's not how we should be working, and that's how those days have to be gone. We shouldn't work like that anymore, and our staff should be our priority always. The biggest thing we'd do differently, and we've put these policies in place, which at any time I'm happy to share with anyone the things we've done different. We have a better roadside system, we have better knowledge from our staff, and the staff that is still here from that incident, it is really ingrained in their way of thinking now for the rest of their lives, I'd hope. And in conclusion, I'd just like to offer any advice to anyone that if they ever need it, my door is always open to help. And as I've dealt with other companies this year that have lost staff members and worked with their owners of their businesses, it's not the easiest thing to deal with. So if you ever need anything, please feel free to contact me.